We are working on AACC, American Association of Christian Counseling, especially ethics, laws and ethics on Christian counseling. So we are looking at it right now. We're not just continue to read and think about the codes, especially ethic codes. So from these codes, we can learn lots of things what Christian counselors are supposed to do and not supposed to do. And just learning this and pretty crucial because that's for protecting ourselves and protecting our clients. So we're gonna just work on it. 1-140 dual and multiple relationships. Well, as a father, I'm a father, and I'm a husband, and I'm a pastor, and I'm a professor. So I have multiple roles, and then I have multiple relationships too. But in counseling setting, dual or multiple relationships can be dangerous. It can help ourselves and our clients at the same time, but basically it can be very complicated when something happens, and even we don't have any issue yet, we can have problems later on. So we want to just think about the dual or multiple relationships, including the counseling relationship as counselors and clients. So we want to see what hazards, what issues we can have. So basically, we want to just avoid the dual or multiple relationships when we counsel our clients. Dual relationships involve the breakdown of a proper professional or ministerial boundaries. A dual relationship exists when two or more roles are mixed in a manner that can harm the counseling relationship and or the therapeutic process. So avoiding multiple relationships can help our counseling actually. What if I counsel my wife? Can I be a good counselor for my wife? What if she has, maybe, but what if she has marital problem? that is me and my wife, right? So it's gonna be very complicated when I counsel my wife, especially when she has marital problems. Okay, which means she has a problem with me, right? So for our clients' benefits and for maximizing our counseling or therapies, we need to think about the multiple relationships. This includes counseling as well as personal, fraternal, business, financial, or sexual and romantic relationships. Now, all your relationships are necessarily unethical. That's right. I can counsel my kids. I can counsel my co-workers, right? That is doable. It's not unethical. But when something got involved in our counseling kind of relationship issues, that can be dangerous, right? It is client exploitation that is wrong, not the dual relationship in and of itself. However, it remains the responsibility of the counselor to monitor and evaluate any potential harm to clients. So counselors are there for clients. Okay? So counselors are working for clients and providing best counseling services. For that, we want to just remove some hazards. Okay. So dual relationship or multiple relationships that is actively and passively we want to just avoid or defy any harmful things. That is very important. Okay. So let's take a look more, more in detail on dual and multiple relationships. 1-140A, the rule of dual relationships. While in a counseling relationship or when counseling relationships become imminent, or for an appropriate time after the termination of counseling, Christian counselors do not engage in dual relationships with clients. So AACC is saying clearly that counselors don't want to involved in dual relationships with clients. Some dual relationships are always avoided sexual or romantic relationships, definitely. I think I mentioned that last week. Counselors can have sexual or romantic relationships when they are not careful for that. So we need to be careful what we are doing. And clients are saying almost everything to counselors, and they can depend on or they can feel something close to their counselors, and counselors can just feel and think something different to their clients, and then they will have problems. So counselors have to be very careful in a counseling settings, and they have to make their minds up not to be involved in romantic or sexual relationship with their clients. Okay, that is very important. Which means that kind of things are happening. Why people make laws and codes? Because those things are happening. And those things are very harmful to counselors and clients. That's why we make laws, okay? It's like, why we have traffic laws. Because we don't follow it, we're gonna get in trouble. We can hurt ourselves or we can hurt others, okay? Even we can lose our lives. the same thing. People are thinking something is a problem and they make laws about that. Okay, for avoiding that kind of situations, or that can be a warning before any problems, right? Christian counselors do not engage in dual relationship with clients. Some dual relationships are always avoided: sexual, romantic relations, and counseling close friends, family members, employees, business partners, associates, or supervisees. Other dual relationships should be presumed as potentially troublesome and avoided wherever possible. Counseling, if you are the employer, counseling your employees, you can have a different mindset. So you're gonna just provide counseling service to your employees. You can manipulate your employees if you are not straight person. Even though you are a straight person, still you have a different standpoint. As employer, you counsel employees. You're gonna tame your employees. You can control. You can manipulate. Okay. Even you can fool your employees. So you don't want to do that. Maybe you can say, "I'm neutral." Well, is there any neutral people? Can there be any neutral people? It's going to be very hard. Okay? I want to close. Sorry, I asked someone to turn the AC on because it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot nowadays. All right, so next one is 1-140-B. Proving an exception to the rule. Christian counselors have the primary burden of proof for a justified dual relationship by showing. So, clients are not supposed to do that, but that's counselors' responsibilities to prove that. So, counselors have to think carefully whether the clients can be involved in any dual or multiple relationships. Okay, so the first one is this: informed consent, including discussion of how the counseling relationship might be harmed as other aspects of the relationship proceed. Okay, so that's counselor's responsibility. We want to just informed consent. We want to just have that. Okay. Okay. The second is a lack of harm or exploitation to the client. As a general rule, all close relationships are unethical if they become counselor, client, or former lay helping relationships. Okay. So it is saying that the code is saying that any dual relationships can be unethical. Okay. So basically, counselors want to meet their clients only as counselors and clients, right? So when that is mixed with other relationships, it can be harmful. It can be harm to our clients. It can be harm to ourselves, counselors too. Okay. That's why it is saying that any dual relationships can be unethical. Dual relationships may be allowable, requiring justification by the foregoing rule. If the client is an arm's length acquaintance and or the relationship is not a close one. Well, for example, I know the person who is working for a market, and I saw the person once in a while when I go and shop something, groceries or snacks at the market. Okay, but if that is just it, I can provide any counseling service to the person because we don't know each other much, but we used to say hi, okay, that's it, and then we cannot say that it's a dual relationship, okay, right? 1-140-C is counseling with family, friends, and acquaintances. Do you think you can be comfortable with them? I don't know. I do talk with my families and kids. But is that counseling services? No, I just talk with my kids, you know. So we can talk on this and that, political issues, any social issues, any religious issues, or you know, I can just talk with my kids about their friends, their girlfriends or boyfriends or their school lives. We can talk at the table, right? But that's not counseling. That's not counseling. Counseling is more professional. Especially psychotherapies and counselings, professional counselings are just sitting, you know, face to face, one to one, and we can ask something deeply. If I ask some questions when I use at the you know in the counseling settings to my kids, I don't think they're gonna answer to me. I don't think that my kids are gonna be comfortable with that. Okay, I don't counsel that, but the counseling is a little bit different, right? So I mean, you are not saying that if you talk with your friends, there is a counseling. Well, in a broad meanings, you can say that, right? But that's not counseling we provide in a professional setting. Okay? So I'm not comfortable with those people, right? Because I know those people well, and I'm living with my family members, and I have long friendship with my friends. So counseling, maybe I can provide some advice to my friends and families, but that's not counseling, right? As dual relationships with other family members, acquaintances, and fraternal club, association, or group members are potentially troublesome and best avoided. Otherwise, requiring justification. But the justification, what kind of justification you can have? It's going to be very hard, right? So you don't want to say, well, I have proper justification for counseling my friends, families. Well, actually, we can justify everything. All people are good at it. Alright? Even some murderers, they can justify themselves because I kill somebody because of it. I just kill somebody because of that. See, if you think even murderers can just justification for themselves, and that is not proper, what about us? We can do that too. We can do that too, and which is no good. No good for ourselves and our clients at the same time. 1-140-D Business and Economy Relations. Christian counselors avoid partnerships, employment relationships, and close business associations with clients. Barter relationships in exchange for rendered therapeutic services should be avoided as potentially troublesome and require justification. Yes. When we want to just provide counseling service to our business partners, intentionally and unintentionally, we can say something for our benefits because we are normal human beings. Okay, we are normal human beings. People are working for themselves, basically, deeply. Okay, even though you want to just help others, you work for yourself too. I'm not saying all people are pretending to help others. No, they are helping others, which is very good. A friend I know is providing hot ramen, kind of cup bowl ramens to homeless people in LA because he's working in LA. Okay, and he boiled the hot water early in the morning and got those stuff ready like a cup ramens or snacks, masks, hand sanitizers, chocolate bars, and he and his wife, they are rich. He and his wife just put those things in his car, and then just to stop in certain places and call them and provide them those stuff. Okay? I mean, there are great people, but I'm not saying that they are doing that to pretend they are good people. Do you think you can do it in this coronavirus severe situations? What if you got coronavirus from them? What if you spread coronavirus to those people? Both are dangerous, right? And he has business. He's a busy person. He has good enough money to live by. Okay? But he has compassion. Right? But I'm not saying there are a bunch of great people, but at the same time, in many cases, people have something. They are doing those things for themselves too. Okay? With good reasons or not. Therefore, if done, barter should be considered a rare and uncommon occurrence. Unless justified by compelling necessity customer relationships with the clients are normally avoided. So we want to just avoid those kind of situations. By doing so, we can protect ourselves at the, and our clients also. And that is very important. You don't want counselors. You don't want to say you're okay. You're not okay. You're not okay. I can be neutral. No, we are not. We can't, because we are normal human beings. Even though you have higher degrees, even though you have licenses, it doesn't matter that we are all same human beings with, like other homeless people and other people who are vulnerable. Because we are all vulnerable sometimes. We are all same. Whether we have different races and skin colors or whatever, those are stupid things people are saying. Okay? If we believe in God, we are from God. Our ethnicity and our race and skin colors doesn't matter. White supremacists, they are stupid. They are non-Christians. They can go churches, but they are non-Christians. Even though they are Christians, they are wrong. They don't know and they don't understand who God is. Okay? They have no idea how God created us. Right? 1-140-E, receiving gifts. Receiving gifts is always good, right? Christian counselors recognize that sometimes and for certain cultures, a gift, when it is given, is a token of respect and a way of showing gratitude to a counselor. This is good. It's beautiful. I feel thanked, and I can give some gift to those people I feel thanked, right? And clients who want to just give some gifts to their counselors, which is beautiful. I wish I can get some gifts from my clients. It's not old, but prior to accepting a gift, counselors consider the cultural narrative of the client, the monetary value of the gift, and any therapeutic implications. What are those are talking about? Cultural narrative of the client. If we don't understand your client's cultural background, their gift can have different meanings that I think. Okay? Well, what if a client, gives me a pen? This is a pen I can use. This is just a cheap pen, right? I can take it. And I want to say thank you for this beautiful gift. But what if, for example, what if giving a pen to other person has different meanings, like asking something romantic, something sexual, something curse. So then if you accept this gift, you got in trouble. You got in trouble. So you have to understand what kind of cultural background do your clients have. Unless you can take some gifts from them and you got in trouble. A stupid guy wrote about the culture um, crash. What was it? Um, culture crash or something like that, right? Two cultures are just like fighting each other or something. Well, if you go wrong, you wanna just do it as Romans do, right? Because you are in the wrong. When you see people in the United States, in LA or Orange County, you wanna just expect, people gonna act as Americans. If you visit Thailand, for example, you don't wanna act like Americans because it can be very rude. It can be very uneducated. It can be very savage things. What we are doing in the United States can be very bad to people in other countries. A guy I worked with, actually, after I got mission training with people, I just traveled to Thailand and Philippines a month each. But we just stopped by an airport and spent the night in a hotel in Taiwan before we flew to Philippines, I think. Yeah, Philippines. I was just taking a rest in the hotel lobby, and I heard something kind of verbal fighting or argues with. So I just had a look at, and one of my friends is arguing with hotel employee on coffee price, cause he asked $20, and my friend didn't ask how much is it, but he just ordered the 2 cups of coffees, for himself and his wife. And the employee just, asked $40, $20 each. And he said, and my friend said, it is too expensive. What's going on there? I think unfortunately my friend didn't think about where is that. He's in a hotel. He's in a hotel. He was not ordering coffees in Starbucks or McDonald's. How ridiculous it is. But the hotel staff had to ask the right amount of money for 2 coffees, right? If you stop by a hotel in Korea, depends on what kind of hotel it is, you have to pay $30 or $40 for a cup of coffee in Korea. That's what I guess. Right? I had a cup of coffee and I paid five cup of coffee price, and I remember I just paid roughly $30 or $40 each, not total. 5-star. Now it is a 6-star hotel. But my friend mess with the hotel staff, and hotel staff was right. Oh my goodness, I felt shame, but not my friend. I felt shame, so I just asked my friend if I can pay for it, for 2 cups of coffees, because I like him. That's what I said, even though I don't like him, because he was ridiculous. Is that culture clash? We want to use common sense. That's why we want to just do as Romans do in Rome. Okay, it's common sense. That's common sense. It's not culture crash, culture battle, culture war. Because we all are different, we want to respect those people and those cultures and other cultures when we visit them. Okay, at least. How many languages we are using in LA? More than 200. Can you believe it? I only can speak English and Korean. And some very little, maybe Japanese. I can only say ni hao, ni hao sansu. That's it. Hola, uno, dos, tres. Cuatro. That's it. That's all I know. But more than 200 languages are spoken in LA, which means lots of people are living together in LA. That's who we are. We are living in the United States, formed by all immigrants and plus some also called the Native Americans. Native Americans are more owners. We are immigrated too. Some people occupied, some people colonized this land. But now we are living in America as Americans, right? So we want to living together. So we are living together, and we are living together with different cultural backgrounds. So we want to respect each other's. There is no particular, just one American way. Our culture is forming still. Okay, it's still mixing. But we use common sense. Oh, that's American way. We used to do American way. We want to just kiss 2 times on, both cheeks. But we can hug if you know each other. If you both parties agree with that. Basically, we handshake, but we don't do that anymore because of the coronavirus. So we want to just understand our clients' cultural background, so we can understand them. Especially when we got gifts from those people, we need to be careful. Or sometimes we can ask. If you don't know, you can ask anytime, right? What this pen has meaning? I like it, but I want to just know what kind of meaning, what meaning it has for you and for me. For me, it is a gift, just a regular gift, but what kind of a meaning you have in your cultural background, or you can ask anytime. Why not? You don't want to just assume. You don't want to play assuming this and that, okay? Something like that. So if there is any therapeutic implications, okay? What if a client got a trauma with a pen, and the client gives you a pen, then then it has a therapeutic meaning, right? That's therapeutic meaning. Maybe he or she has trauma with pen or whatever, so be careful. If you don't know it, just ask it. 1-140F. Counseling with fellow church members. Christian counselors do not provide counseling to fellow church members with whom they have close personal business or shared ministry relations. Okay? Do your relationships with any other church members who are clients are potentially troublesome and best avoided, otherwise requiring justification. Pastors, well, providing justifications can be complicated and can be personal. I don't recommend that. If you have church members, unless you have 100,000 church members and you never met the person at all, then even though the client is same membership in your church, you can provide counseling services, right? But what if you have 100 or 500 church members and one of your church members want to have counseling service from you? Well, I want to just say provide or prove the justification. No, just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's so simple. You just refer that person to your friends. Isn't it simple? Isn't it safe? What if you have counseling service? You just provide a counseling service to one of the same church members, and then but you have to meet the person every Sunday or Wednesday or whatever, whenever you have a meeting in a large group or small groups. What do you think about the client? What do you think the clients think about me and feel about me? So uncomfortable. Don't do it. So don't do it. I don't do it. Though they ask me to do it, well, I can just chat with, the person. I don't want to just provide therapeutic or counseling services to those people. So simple. Otherwise, requiring justification. Pastors and church staff helpers should take all reasonable precautions to limit the adverse impact of any dual relationships. Right? So, for example, you are a pastor and you're a counselor. You do ministry in your church, but at the same time, you have business with your church members. How are you going to preach that? Do you think you are sure that you're not going to say anything about the business partnerships or something? The Bible says, something about those things. You just preach because it's in the Bible. But what do you think they think about it? So avoid your relationships as much as you can. Especially you are counselors. 1-140-G. Termination to engage in dual relationships prohibited. Christian counselors do not terminate counseling for the purpose of engaging in dual relationships of any kind. Some counselors and their former clients may agree that any future counseling will be done by another provider if, after a legitimate termination and no identified risks of potential harm to the client, they decide to pursue another form of relationship. Okay? Alright. I'm a counselor, you're a client. And I love you, and you love me. So let's terminate the counseling, relationship, so we can go date. That's prohibited. Okay, so simple. I'm a counselor, you are a client. Oh, let's finish this relationship for our business together. That's prohibited. That's prohibited, okay? So simple, right? So it is so simple. If you are a counselor and you have a client, you just meet the client as counselor and a client, and that's it. That's it. You don't want to provide counseling services to those people you know you have a relationship already for making money. No. It's too simple. ES1-200. Competency in Christian counseling or call to excellence. Okay. So we are counselors, and you wanna do your best for your job, and you wanna just do the best, okay? For the best performance, what we are supposed to do. You become counselors only for money. And money works. Maybe if you just want to make money as counselors, okay, it's okay. All people are working for money. They need it. Okay, that's totally acceptable, and that's all we do. That's all we do. Even though we have higher motivations and goals, we all are working for money. It's okay. But you are called to be excellent, which means you don't want to be the best counselor. I mean, it's not. If that is true, there is only one, the best counselor ever. Then what about others? Well, others are losers? No. But at least we are called to be excellent. Okay. In addition to being distinctly Christian, faith-based counselors must also uphold a strong commitment to clinical and professional excellence. Competence makes truthful and realistic statements about the caregiver and the caregiving process, keeps pace with relevant research in the field, demonstrates awareness of limitations, avoids dishonest or exaggerated claims, incorporates accountability when there is awareness of hindering personal issues, and makes needed and appropriate referrals. So so you wanna be a counselors, and you wanna be excellent, and because of it, we have to keep those in your in your mind. You know, you wanna just keep those in your mind. Okay. Competence. So you wanna just study more. You wanna just try your best to provide the best counseling services to your clients. For that, you wanna just understand and study their backgrounds, their cultures, and the person itself, clients is themselves, and then you want to know because you are designing the counseling. Okay, depends on people. Because you are not factory workers, so you just have treat all clients the same. Only 10 times of counselings because all are different, because they are important people, because they are depending on you. You want to study harder for the best services. Okay. 1-210, honoring the call to competent Christian counseling. Christian counselors maintain the highest standards of competence with integrity, knowing and respecting the boundaries of competence, both personally and with others. Christians, because you are Christians. Because you are Christians, you want to just say what secular counselors do and have. Because you are Christians. Because you are believing in God, the Creator, your Father. You want to just set higher standard than others. Okay? That's what it's saying. That's the competence. So competence with integrity. Okay? Knowing and respecting the boundaries of competence. You have to know it and you have to respect it. You have to know the codes and you have to respect the codes. This means you need to practice it. You know it, but you don't do it. You know it, you don't even you ignore it. That's not what you are supposed to do. Okay. A knowledge of standards. 1-210-A, knowledge of standards. Christian counselors who choose to adhere to the AACC Christian Counseling Code of Ethics have a responsibility to read, understand, and follow the code, as well as comply with applicable state, federal laws, and regulations. Okay? You can choose other organizations, APA, there are some other things, AACC. There are many, organizations, but you choose AACC. If you choose AACC, you want to just know and respect it and follow the codes. But at the same time, because you choose AACC, but you have to remember there are federal laws and state laws on counseling, right? So you have to know them and you have to respect those. If there is any conflicts, usually they don't have it because AACC doesn't want to violate federal laws, government laws, right? Then who's gonna win? They're gonna win. So the AACC, makes a proper cause after reviewing all the federal laws and counseling. Christians don't want to violate government laws. You don't want to violate traffic laws because you are Christians, because whenever you die, you go heaven. Well, that's ridiculous. That's not what Christians do. That's not what Christians do. Christians don't like maybe the government, but they have to respect their laws. I mean, the government law. Unless you got in trouble. Right? So, we want to know what federal law or government law on counseling, and at the same time, we want to know the AACC cause because we choose it, because we want to just work as AACC members. Then we have to know it. If you don't know the laws, you got in trouble. If you think red lights means go, you got in trouble. You got in trouble, right? The same thing. So you have to know it. Knowledge of standards is very crucial. That's basic, right? 1-210-B, recognize the limits of competence. Christian counselors do not offer services or work beyond the limits of their competence or scope of practice. For example, education, knowledge, training, and professional ministerial experience, and do not aid or abet the work of Christian counseling by untrained, unqualified, or unethical practitioners or helpers. Okay? So recognize the limits of competence. You have to know limit. There are limits always. School has a limit. Family has a limit. Church has a limit. Counselors have a limit. Medical doctors have a limit. Scientists have a limit. Okay? We all have limits, boundaries, duties, responsibilities. Alright? 1-220. Duties to study and maintain expertise. Christian counselors keep abreast of and, whenever possible, contribute to new research, knowledge, issues, and resources in Christian counseling and their respective fields. Counselors maintain an active program of personal professional growth, study, and continuing education to improve helping effectiveness, biblical integration, and ethical practice. They also seek out specialized training, supervision, and or advanced certification, credentialing if they choose to gain expertise in a particular area, and before practice and advertising recognize the specialty areas of counseling and clinical practice. Duties to study and maintain expertise. That's why we go conferences. That's why we go seminars. You study and got diplomas and licenses and you are done. No, you are not done. Yeah, because things there are many things to know, and there are many things to study, and there are many things to many cases you wanna have a look. So I think I mentioned the ones, the lawyers, judges, prosecutors, they study laws. And they have case books, thick books every year. And lawyers have to know those cases they are working on. Because the cases, new cases, new standards. Okay? Same to counselors. So, counselors are supposed to study more and more. That's going to be endless study. Because things are changing. Because many things are happening. Okay? So simple, right? 1-230. Maintaining integrity in work reports and relationships. Integrity is pretty hard, right? As teachers, as counselors, as ministers, you want to show your integrity. But as employees, as employers, and as CEOs, and project managers or supervisors, they want to show integrity, right? Christian counselors maintain the highest standards of integrity. Christian counselors, Christian, because we are Christians. If not, Christian counselors maintain the highest standards of integrity in all their work, in professional reports, and in all professional relationships. Counselors delegate to employees, supervisees, and other subordinates only that work these persons can competently perform, meeting the client's best interests and done with appropriate supervision. So for that, because Christians, yes, Christians want us to set higher standards, and when you just provide counseling services, when you report that, when you document, when you do document some, for this and that, you wanna just do better. You wanna be honest. And you wanna be sincere. Cause Christians are thinking that God is taking care of us, which means God is watching us too. Wherever we go, whatever we do, wherever we go, okay? Because God is with us. God is helping and protecting us, which means He's with us always, and you wanna be honest. Alright? Counselors delegate, for that we need supervisions. Supervisions is this. Why counseling. When you study counseling, you almost always have supervisors until you finish the like 5,000 hours or 3,000 hours of supervisions. Why? Because you can miss your mistakes. So you are just sharpening your skills. Unless you can miss and you're gonna believe that you don't make mistakes. And you're gonna think you are right. Are you? Are you right always? No. So we need supervisions. We need proper supervisions, and we need guidance and trainings almost always. Okay. Almost always. Um, then what if you got a license and you open your own counseling center? Then where you can get supervisions, you can work with your co-workers and you can work with your friends. So you can think what you are doing and you can cross check with your friends. So whether you are doing right or not, and you can go seminars and conferences and you read books, and by doing so you can have kind of safety system for yourselves. I think that's it for today. So we're gonna just we have 2 more weeks, so I don't know if we can finish this code or not, but I want to just try move faster so we can finish this ethical course in the next 2 weeks.